Hey everyone, my name's Caitlyn and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. First off, I want to thank you all so much for your enthusiasm for the Keep Me in Suspense readathon. I'm so grateful for everyone who has said that they are planning to participate, and I'm just so excited about this and just overwhelmed by all of your support and your excitement for this readathon. I can't even express how much it means to me. So thank you all so much. Thank you again to my amazing co-hosts, Amanda and Jeanette, for embarking on this adventure with me. I am so excited for all of the amazing things that August will be bringing. Okay, now, today I'm going to be telling you about my favorite books of 2024 so far. I have 10 books that I'm listing here, and they are all ones that I read in the first half of the year, so between January and June. I think the first one that I'm listing is actually one that I read in February. I don't think I actually had any favorites in January, but be that as it may. They're all from between January and June. Now, these are not listed in any particular order except chronological order of when I read them. So I'm not ranking them, and I am not I'm not pitting them against each other because they're all favorites. I adored every single one of these and highly recommend them. So yeah, I will go through, try and do this kind of rapid fire and give you a tiny little snippet of what the book is about. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. So the first book I'm going to talk about is one that I read in February, and it is The Bodyguard by Katherine. This is the first Katherine book that I have ever read, and I absolutely loved it. It blew me away. I loved it so much. This is about the hero is an actor who is getting threats. He has a stalker, and the heroine ends up being his bodyguard. And yeah, there's great family aspects with his family and their ranch that they have. It's a wonderful time. So much fun. The only thing I didn't love about it was that she does use some bad language in her books. And I knew that. Going into it, but that's the only thing that I didn't like about it. But other than that, and I did feel that it was fairly infrequent. So I could deal with that. So yeah, just something to be aware, but her books are closed door. And I loved this one, and I cannot wait to read more books from her. Okay, the next one is Catch a Wave by Savannah Scott. I read this in March. This is book 3 in her Love Trippin' series, and I just absolutely adored it. This is a second chance romance between Bodhi and Kalaine, and they are both surfers. So if you like, surfing vibes, if you like the movie Soul Surfer, but want a romance in it, this one would be right up your alley. Yeah, I just loved it. It's a beautiful romance, and loved the surfing aspects of it. That was so fun, and yeah, just absolutely loved it. Next, also in March, I read Absolutely Not in Love by Jenny Proctor, and this is an interesting one because it's part of 2 series. It's part of the Sweater Weather series, in which is book 7. It's also book 2 in the Appy's hockey romance series, I think is the title. I don't know. I can't remember the exact title, but I know it's the Appy's series that she's writing with Emma St. Clair. So this is the first of the Sweater Weather books that I read. It's also the first of the Appy's books that I read. And yeah, I just absolutely adored it. Felix, the hero, is just delightful. He's sweet, he's charming, and he's very much an introvert, and he's bookish. I mean, he is perfection. He truly is. So yeah, I've read it, I loved it, I highly recommend it. Okay, then, also in March, the very end of March, I read this one. Betrothal or Breakaway by Leah Brunner. This is book 3 in the DC Eagles series, and this is one of my favorite books of all time. I've talked about it before, so I'm not going to talk about it a ton here, but I will say there is a little bit of language. It's mild language and it's infrequent, but there is some, and there is one fade to black scene One thing I really, really appreciate with all of her books is that the fade to black scene in her books is always between a married couple. And I really greatly appreciate that. So yeah, otherwise this book is completely clean and I just absolutely adored it and highly recommend it. Okay, then in April, I was given the incredible honor of beta reading a book for a dear friend of mine, and that is Wes and Addie Had Their Chance, a Love Story by Bethany Turner. This is a rom-com, and it comes out next year, so it's not out yet, won't be out for a while, but I just absolutely adored it. This is her third book set in Adelaide Springs, Colorado, and Wes and Addie were part of the same high school class as Bryn from Bryn and Sebastian Hate Each Other, and Cole and Layla from Cole and Layla Are Just Friends. And Wes and Addie were high school sweethearts all through school. They were going to get married after graduation, and Wes ended up leaving Addie at the altar. That's not a spoiler because it has been mentioned in the previous books. So they ended up, you know, time has passed. It's now, I think, 20 years later. They have moved on and both married other people. And Wes is now a senator in Connecticut, and Addie is in the CIA. And so it's a potential second chance romance between them. And it is just incredible. I absolutely loved it. Okay. Then in May, I read Suspended in the Stars by E.A. Hendryx. This is a YA science fantasy. So it's sci-fi. It takes place in space. But there are also some fantasy elements to it as well. And I was absolutely blown away by this. I love this author. I love everything that she writes under her multitude of pen names. Her real name is Emily Haney, and this is her pen name for YA. She also goes under the pen name Belle Renshaw for sweet romance, and her own name, Emily Haney, for romantic suspense as well. So yeah, I love her. She's a sweet friend, and I love her books so much. And this is definitely an outside of my comfort zone read, but I absolutely loved it. I was blown away by it. The audiobook is also incredible, so definitely look into that if you like audiobooks. And yeah, I highly recommend it. It's completely clean, no language, no spice whatsoever. It's just fantastic. So if you love sci-fi and fantasy, you'll love this one. Even if you don't like sci-fi and fantasy, give it a try because you might very well love it as much as I did. Okay, then also in May, I read The Happy Life of Isadora Bentley by Courtney Walsh. And this book I just love it. I just love it so much. It just makes me so happy. Thinking about it again makes me happy. Yeah, I don't really know what to say more than that, but yeah, definitely check it out. It's women's fiction with romance, but it's also hilarious, and yeah, it's delightful. Okay, then also in May, I read Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair, which is book 1 in the Sweater Weather series and also book 1 in the Appies series. This is about Parker and Logan. Parker's the girl, Logan's the guy, and they were childhood friends. Her brother and Logan were best friends, and she was also friends with Logan. They were very close when they were younger. He spent a lot of time at their house, and yeah, they were very close. And then upon him graduating from high school, he ended up getting drafted into the NHL or going to play college hockey. I can't remember which it was, one or the other. He left anyway without saying goodbye to either of them. So now it's been about 10 years. He's back playing for the Appies. He was injured in the NHL, and so he's kind of working his way back up to there by getting assigned to the Appies. And she is their social media manager. And it's so fun. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Savannah Bananas. If you haven't, you should totally check them out. They are a baseball team in Savannah, Georgia, and they play something called Banana Ball, which is similar to baseball, but it's a little bit different. They do something that's really fun. They do all kinds of at-bat shenanigans, choreographed dances, just so much fun stuff. It's just like, you cannot watch them without smiling. You just can't. And I'm not a sports girl. I'm really not. But I love them so much. Well, Emma and Jenny actually based the Appies hockey team off of the Savannah Bananas. So the Appies do very similar things. You know, the like trending videos and choreographed dances and that kind of thing. And so there's a lot of that in here, and it's just so much fun. It's also another thing that I love about this book is Parker has never been kissed. And I just love that. I mean, how great is that? And one of the typically spiciest genres, I guess, but sports romance are typically very spicy. These are not. Nothing that Emma writes is spicy. They're all closed door and no spice. But I mean, how great is that to write a rom-com in a typically very spicy genre about a heroine who has never been kissed? I mean, that's brilliant. And I know she has said that she did not set out to write that, but I love when the story went there, that she was willing to do it. I just love that so much. And yeah, I related to Parker a lot, as I have never been kissed either. So yeah, I just love that so much. And this story just made me so happy, and it still lives rent-free in my head and probably always will. Okay, then in June, I read another book from the Sweater Weather series, A Not So Fictional Fall by Savannah Scott. This book, ooh la la. It is just, it's incredible. I truly have no words. I have no words. I just adored it totally and completely. It blew me away, and I could not read it fast enough. And I still think about it all the time and smile and swoon, and I just absolutely love it. This is about Tasha and Pierre. Tasha is a bookstagrammer and freelance editor and, you know, all the bookish things, and she goes to a book event to meet her favorite romance author, who she thinks is a woman based on the author's pen name. And it turns out to actually be this very handsome man named Pierre, writing under a pen name. And things happen that require him to get married. And so it's a marriage of convenience story between them. And I just absolutely love it. There is also a sequel to this called He's So Not My Valentine that features Tasha's sister Heather, which is also fantastic as well. Okay, and then the last book I'm talking about in this video, I also read in June, and that is The Road Before Us by Janine Rosche. And you've seen me talk about this book before. You guys know that I absolutely adored this book. I absolutely adore Janine Rosche as an author. And yeah, this book blew me away. I just, yeah, absolutely loved it. I don't know what else to say about it. I have a full reading vlog for this book that I will try to remember to link down below, but if not, you can find it. It's just a few videos ago. So yeah, be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And yeah. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!